This is More Than Reality podcast, where we dive into all things faith, family, and marriage and share that there is so much more than the reality that you see on the surface. Welcome to More Than Reality with Adam and Danielle Busby.
All right. Welcome back to More Than Reality podcast with Adam and Danielle Busby.
Yep.
This is episode 9.
Yep. This is episode 9.
And
getting close to 10.
This episode is going to be a little bit fun and a little bit off.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to expect. So so this is the episode where we're going to hear from you guys on some voicemails that you left us.
Yes.
And I just I went through, we had a bunch. And so as I was listening to them, I was just like starring random ones and I completely forgot which ones I've starred. And so I have like a screen right here. Hopefully I set this up correctly where I downloaded the audio. It's where I can just hit the button on the board and it plays it so we can hear what you're saying. But
I haven't heard these. I told Adam I wanted to hear them for the first time on the headphones.
Yeah. And so we're going to react to your stories about how you met your significant other.
Yeah.
And so this will be interesting.
This will be fun.
And this will be our first go at bringing you guys onto our podcast, More Than Reality. And we'll see how it goes. And hopefully it's a success and we can do this more of this. I love this. This is going to be fun.
Yes.
So this week we had the girls' very last soccer game.
Which was all confusing because
Riley and Parker.
Yeah. We always have soccer games on Saturdays and they had a soccer game this past Saturday and we weren't available. And so we were actually out of town, but they actually moved the game to next Saturday because there was an event going on and they needed to reserve that park. So we get into the week knowing that our last soccer game's Saturday and then something came up and now they literally changed the games and said, hey, instead of practice on Tuesday, all of the games are now going to Tuesday in your time slot of practice. So we had our last soccer game for the season, kind of
in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because a certain parent of one of the kids on the team will pick up like their snacks at the end of the game. So like you have to do like a snack and a treat and stuff like that. So we had to prepare that to bring, but also our team photo was supposed to be on Saturday, which we still had a time slot, but obviously I'm a photographer. And so team mom asked if I could take the photo before the game. And so I went ahead and just brought my gear, brought a light and stuff. And so we could do a team photo.
Because now it gets dark at like 5 in the game or 5:30.
And I was like looking at what time of the game was, what time it gets dark now. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to bring a light because it's going to be dark. So we did team photos before. We were trying to get there extra early and didn't really work out because
we actually left on the
we normally go to those soccer fields on a Saturday morning, which there's no traffic. And then this day
it was like 5 o'clock on a weekday.
Yeah. And so like traffic was heavy.
Yeah.
So we kind of misread when we needed to leave the house. We were trying to be there about 30 minutes before the game, literally showed up 12 minutes before the game was going to start. And I knew I had to set up light, set up the camera and stuff so that we could take a team photo. And so it was kind of hectic. Plus we had to pack a ice chest and all the stuff for the team
and the chairs because we were all going to the game.
So the whole family went.
But it was actually nice. The weather kind of got down in
weather was awesome.
Like low 70s and it was breezy, upper 60s.
Yeah.
And because it got dark like at literally like 5:40.
That's what we love about fall soccer.
Yeah.
The weather starts getting good.
Yeah. But the game was great. The Riley and Parker have just like grown so much within their soccer skills. I think last season and then for sure this season. But this last game, I don't know if it's because they knew it was the last game. I just felt like they were playing like so like legit, meaning like be aggressive, like be how you play at home with your sisters, you know?
Yeah.
But they did. Parker came close to scoring a goal a couple times. She did score a goal the last game, but we did win. So that was really great way to end the season with a win.
They like totally dominated the whole field.
5-1 or 4-1?
No, 6-0.
They had 1 point.
Yeah, on their own goal.
No, they ended up scoring one.
No, they didn't. They never scored. It was 6-0.
I'm not going to fight with him over this.
I'm a coach. I know. and we had to sign the card at the end of the game with the referee, so I know what the score was.
So we kind of feel like this Saturday coming up that our Saturday is now changed because we originally were supposed to be at the soccer game. So, which now means that our Saturday mornings are kind of open at this point because unless there's a volleyball or a tennis thing that comes up.
So now Saturday. Like we've transitioned from soccer to now Ava, Olivia, Parker have volleyball.
They still have volleyball, yep, on Fridays.
On Friday nights.
And Saturday tournament days once a month.
Yeah, and then Riley and Hazel have tennis on Friday night. And then now Blake is starting her tennis coaching and stuff like that to get her ready for the tennis season is like
spring.
Right at the end of the school year, which is weird because high school is completely different because the high school is in the middle of it right now.
Yeah. They actually do have like a tournament. You can sign up for tennis for the girls, but I was like, I'm not going to do it. They've had 2 practices.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if, no, they can't because they're on volleyball Friday. Yep. So now we're with volleyball and tennis at this point.
So this is life of parents with 6 kids.
Yeah.
You're just constantly juggling schedules and extracurricular activities and sports and everything. And so,
but it's fun.
Yeah. So they're all at school right now.
Just
and
thank God you have me.
This is when we do podcasts is while they're at school.
Yeah.
This is when we started this. It's like, oh, we can actually do something that doesn't require the whole family. We can get real with you guys. And
we're like, we're enjoying this. Yeah. 1, it's taking us back down memory lane. But 2, it's kind of like where our hearts sit and what we want to do more so of. And so we've already talked about different avenues of like how to even get more real and connect more with you guys. And so you're going to see a couple things coming up that are going to be more exciting for you as the listener, as the watcher, as the person that wants to hear from us. So.
Yeah, we have a few things like kind of in the works, which is a little bit unknown as far as like how all this is going to work. We're going to
beginning stages, but
yeah, we're in the very early stages trying to figure it out. But we're eventually, because normally whenever we film these podcasts, we try to do it a few weeks in advance, and we're going to do something a little different. We're going to try to do as we're filming the podcast, which it's not going to go on podcast platforms for another couple weeks at least. We're actually going to go live on TikTok, and we're going to do TikTok lives in the moment while we're recording. And that's just going to be on a live. So it's like, it's there while we're recording and it's gone. And then
don't give everything away. So just like, we'll be doing some things live and big future of other things next year in 2025. But Adam kind of broke the ice right there a little bit.
And we're gonna get you guys involved. Like we're gonna ask a lot of questions about things. We're actually gonna be developing some stuff. And we're going to probably be leaning on you guys a lot and asking some questions and like, what do you think about this or this? And so,
it's exciting.
It's exciting. 2025 will be really cool.
Yeah. But anyways, we're going to film a podcast right now for y'all, and we're going to talk about things that y'all have called in.
Some of you guys are going to be on it.
Yay. That's so fun.
Hear yourself. We're going to do like 10 clips.
Like, seriously, I feel like Delilah right now.
And we're going to comment on it.
I feel like Delilah.
So I don't know if I have to hit like the pause button and like stop and start. So we'll see.
Yeah. We're testing this out with y'all.
So this episode is all about whenever we were telling our story of like how we met and like our proposal and stuff. And then we asked you guys, okay, do you have any interesting or funny or heartwarming or touching stories that you would like to share, and we will play it live, or not live, but we'll play it on our podcast. You'll get to hear your own voice, and we'll talk about it.
So make sure to say their name, because give them a shout out, man.
Yeah. Some of these I have like first and last name. Some I only have first name.
Yeah. So that's okay. They'll know who they are if they're listening.
We're going to go to the very first clip.
All right.
And I don't know what to expect. I don't know if like the first one is the best one or the last one is not, but.
How about I pick one?
No, we're just going to go in order.
Oh, okay. You already got that.
So this is clip 5. This is Sandy Spath.
Sandy Spath, we're about to listen to your story.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
So I met my husband about 13 years ago, actually today. And it was about a month after I had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer. So I put my story out there on Match. Yes, we met on Match. And I even put on there that I didn't know if I was going to have chemo or not, because I didn't know at that point. Turns out I did have to have it. And he didn't blink. He was the one that shaved my head. He was the one that would.
So that's crazy. So Sandy was going through cancer on Match.com, and she still like put herself out there.
That's amazing.
I mean,
Good job, Sandy?
I mean, talk about like knowing you're going to find the one, because I mean, here you are going through battling cancer, and you just kind of put that out there. And so, I mean, if you find somebody that's like willing to like invest in something that is like difficult from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like,
of not knowing what you have to go through if you're going to survive or not in this situation when you're dealing with cancer, you know?
That's a strong man right there.
Yes. Yes. That is very strong.
Let's listen.
Give me my shots the day after chemo for my white blood cell count. He was the one that drove me to and from surgeries. At this point, 13 years later, I'm actually getting ready to do my 18th surgery for reconstruction purposes.
Breast cancer.
For lack of a better term, they don't want to stay where they're at and they keep falling. So blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he has been my angel. And he takes me to all my appointments and he's always there for me. And it would be really neat to talk about it to somebody because maybe I can help somebody else, because in his words, when I told him I had to have chemo and all my hair was going to fall out, all he said was, it's just temporary. And that stuck with me. And he was right.
Wow.
We just went heavy
on the first one. Sandy Spath, thank you for sharing your story. That is beautiful. And just to hear how the way that God pulled y'all together through a battle phase that you were in, and still putting yourself out there to be able to have someone to connect with and walk that phase of life with. And 13 years later, like, happy anniversary in multiple ways, from beating cancer to your marriage. That's such a beautiful testimony. And I hope that you listening are encouraged by hearing that look at Sandy, like, she was faced with cancer and she still put herself out there and didn't let her take it down. You know, like, way to fight, Sandy. I love it. I love it.
What a beautiful story.
Beautiful. Like, something you faced hard and you chose to fight. I feel that. That's me. That's me too. I want to fight.
And to find somebody that like knows like you're in the thick of it, is just ready. Yeah. Is ready to fight there with you.
That's so beautiful. I love that story, Sandy.
Sandy, you got a real one.
And your husband. Praise to you.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
good work. Did she say? She didn't say what his name was.
No.
Wow. Well, Sandy's husband, you're a great man.
We started heavy. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Maybe
Let's go to the next one. Thank you, Sandy, for being vulnerable and sharing your story and calling in and having those emotions with us. Like, we feel that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So this next one's from Morgan Miles.
Do you know if you're pressing the right button?
I'm hoping.
First time he gets to play with this little mixer box toy.
Here we go.
So the way that I met my husband, we were both in the 11th grade. I was having some medical problems at the time, and he was on the Explorer program, which is a program for youth that want to eventually be on the fire department. They're able to ride on calls and help with carrying people, that kind of stuff. My mom was unable to get me down the stairs after I had a seizure episode. And so she called the fire department and asked them to help with assisting her. And
who came and saved
he
her?
was the person that carried me mainly in my legs area. And I was like, wow, he is so cute. And oh my gosh, my legs are so hairy. I don't think I've shaved them all month.
Love that story. It reminds me of all those doctor's appointments I'd go into. And if they were like students or something coming in and you're like, wow, that person's really attractive and they're about to see me vulnerable right now.
It's not like my appointments at the urologist, though, where I was dropping my pants for people.
You got tickled quite a few times.
I wasn't trying to find somebody at the time.
I don't think she was trying to find someone either in 11th grade as far as maybe he's cute. But
talk about in like the most vulnerable possible position where like you just went through like a very serious episode.
And you can't move, but she saw that he was cute. So,
I mean, people that like are prone to seizures, it almost becomes like a way of life or like routine.
Yeah, possibly.
But this particular one to the point where you have to
going. I want to listen.
You need to call the local fire department for help. I mean, that's
okay. Let's see what happened with her hairy legs.
It was cold out, so I really didn't think about it. So anyways, I found him on Facebook afterwards because I knew he had been from my school. And I just messaged him and was like, thank you so much for helping me, kind of just trying to get a conversation started. And then I was like, oh, by the way, I'm so sorry my legs were so hairy. And he replied and said, you're welcome. And yeah, they were very hairy.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, he's honest. Like, that's hilarious. So we started talking. And after that, we got together and we've been together since 11th grade. And we are now 29 with 4 children.
Love it.
So it's been about 13 years together, all because my legs were hairy.
That's an awesome story. I love that. And I hope her name was Morgan. So Morgan, I hope every anniversary you
don't shave your legs.
You stop shaving your legs at least a good month before. So they're really hairy.
As a good reminder for why he
fell in love with your hairy legs.
His first love was your hairy legs.
That is such a fun story, and that could totally see myself being like, oh, my legs were hairy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I love that. Good story, Morgan. Thanks for sharing.
But then Morgan like reached out and like she found him.
I was going to say she's got balls, but she doesn't. She just has hairy legs.
Okay.
Too much? Okay, thank you, Morgan. Morgan Miles?
Yep.
Morgan Miles for sharing that story. I love laughing with you and your hairy legs.
All right. So the next clip is Leanne Logue. I think that's how you say the last name. Logue. Logue.
I'm having so much fun with this. I love this so much.
I met my husband 36 years ago. He was in jail and I was not. And I was tricked by a coworker into going to visit him.
Wow.
And I went and visited him that first time, and I was such a goody two-shoes. I couldn't even believe that I was doing what I was doing. And we've been together ever since. We have 3 kids, and I'm going to be a grandma for the first time in November. And yeah, I met my husband while he was doing a 2-year jail sentence, oddly enough. And it all worked out really great for me.
I have so many questions, Leanne.
We may have to bring Leanne on the...
That is an interesting story.
I have so many questions now.
He must have been real cute. I have so many questions.
He was.
Well, one, she got tricked into going. So
in jail
someone must have knew him and he was in there.
A 2-year sentence in jail. She went there to say what she was doing, like volunteering or something.
No, her friends tricked her into going. I don't know what she was doing, but I have no idea.
So many questions.
So many questions, Leanne. We're going to need some answers. You got her email?
Yep.
We're going to ask Leanne what she went to that appointment, what she went to that meeting for.
Yeah, she got grandbabies.
Because my head can go in lots of different directions, and I'm not sure why Leanne really went there for the first time. And why, did she go the first time knowing that she was going to see this person, or did she just have to go to the jail to do a volunteer thing?
And whenever you go to a jail or prison or something, and because they probably haven't seen women
everybody
in a
probably
while.
Looked
so
at
everybody's
Leanne.
probably hitting on you.
Yeah. Leanne, we got lots of questions, babe. Okay. Text her up.
That was crazy.
We're going to start another call in and ask Leanne questions. Okay. So
what a story.
What a story. But 36 years, man, I love it. Love that. 3 kids, grandbaby on the way. Congratulations. Okay, what do we got next? Is that say Josh? Is that a man?
Yeah, Josh
Okay, let's-
Panton. All right, Josh, here we go.
My name's Josh, and I met my wife, Lindsay, when we were both 20 years old in Orlando, Florida, through mutual friends. The husband played with me on the worship team at my church, and the wife was roommate with Lindsay at college. We both ended up attending a New Year's Eve board game party thrown by those mutual friends, the highlight of which was Lindsay's brother pranking me with a game of spoons, resulting in me in chipping my tooth.
Oh, gosh.
Fast forward a couple of days after worship practice, and the wife of our mutual friends was asking the single guys of the worship team who attended the party if there were any girls we noticed. I spoke up and mentioned that I thought Lindsay was cute, to which the wife responded very excitedly. What I didn't know is that she had asked Lindsay if she liked any of the guys at the party, and she had told her no. She then told Lindsay about me and that I thought she was cute, to which Lindsay said she didn't even remember who I was.
Oh, gosh.
That same group of friends invited both of us to walk around downtown Disney the following weekend. Lindsay skipped a leadership meeting at her church after finding out I was going. She really just wanted to see if I was actually interested. While we were there, though, I didn't talk or hang around her the entire time, and she left thinking I had no interest. That same night, some of Lindsay's friends had a movie night, which we both ended up at again. I left my car at our mutual friend's house and drove with another guy to hang out. Conveniently, that guy left earlier, and the only person available at the end of the night to drive me back to my car was, of course, Lindsay. We had an incredibly dry conversation about car insurance, of all things.
What? Boring.
We arrived at our friend's house for me to pick up my car and to return the DVD we borrowed for the movie night. I said goodnight to Lindsay and started to walk back to my car, but stopped and turned around and asked Lindsay if she would like to go to coffee sometime. She replied that she didn't like coffee, and I said, well, that's okay, neither did I. We always laughed thinking about that line. We agreed to go out, and ironically, we did go to Starbucks on our first date, and neither of us ordered coffee, before we went to the terrible Adam Sandler movie Spanglish, where we were about the only ones in the theater. We spent several hours talking after. There was lots more, but we dated for about 9 months before I proposed and married the following June. We've been married for 17 years now and have 3 amazing kids.
Wow. Lindsay plays games.
Lindsay was a little Adam Busby, playing hard to
like
get.
There was like ups and downs, and like it sounds like she was playing some games at the beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I liked Lindsay or not, but hey, she went to a non-coffee date at a coffee shop.
She likes to play hard to get and like just really facetious.
I'm so interested to know like who these people are now, right? Like 17 years later, like that's just, it's just interesting to be like, we were around each other. You didn't see me one bit, but I liked you and you could care less about me. And then we're married.
I think she did like them, and
maybe she just
didn't
playing hard
want
to
to
get.
say. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give
That's
her
why I
that.
say she was playing games.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
Lindsay?
why would she go on that date?
I don't know. I don't
Lindsay.
know. There's a lot of questions.
I hope she's still not playing games.
Lindsay, you better not still be playing games. Go to which one's next?
Maria, and I don't have a last name.
All right. Next one up is from Maria.
So this was 36 years ago. I was a nurse
Love
in
it.
a pediatric surgeon's office, and my husband had just come to Orlando to begin his residency in orthopedic surgery.
Nursing.
And my office that I worked in was across from the hospital, and I would walk over to the hospital every day for lunch in the cafeteria. And he and I kind of caught each other's eye, and we would kind of just, smile or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, he found out through the grapevine who I worked for. And when he was in the x-ray department one day, the doctor that I worked for came in and he asked him, he said, "Is that cute nurse Maria?" Somehow he had found out my name. "Does that cute nurse Maria work for you?" And the doctor I worked for said, "Yeah, she does." And he said, "Do you mind if I do your employee physicals?"
Oh gosh.
I mean, oh my gosh, how cringe.
Oh,
So the doctor that I worked for came back to the office and he said, "You've got some orthopedic surgery intern over there at the hospital asking about you." And he told me what he said. And I just was like, I didn't even know what to think, but it is a story we tell to this day. So anyway, that's it.
So
He did her physical.
thought she was
36 years
cute
ago.
and asked to do her physical. I wonder how in depth these physicals were.
That is
Like-
pretty bold there.
You can learn a lot about somebody on a physical. That's crazy.
Once again,
That's pretty
so
forward,
many
huh?
questions. Very forward. But
Like
very forward.
that could have went one of two directions. Like
Yeah.
I need to either I think this guy's cute and this may go somewhere, or I need to have a restraining order on that guy. But it all ended well.
All ended well 36 years later. This is so fun. I love hearing all these stories because I feel like Adam and I have like such a unique story how we met. And so these are all like up there. I mean, what would you feel like? I mean, you're a man, so I'm not going to answer that
If
question.
you found out that, I mean,
Someone
so
wanted
they had like exchanged looks prior.
Right.
So, I mean, like.
But if I heard some man wanted to do my physical and.
With zero like.
I'd have been like.
Conversation
creepo.
ahead of time.
Yeah. Like, that's weird. But if you heard a woman do that, you'd be like, heck yeah.
I know.
Difference between men and women.
Yeah,
However,
I'll turn my head and call for her.
However, Maria, it didn't bother her.
I'm kidding.
Guessing she went to that physical.
She was pretty confident.
She has physicals often for 36 years of marriage.
I know. Let's get physical.
Let's get physical.
Cut 46. This is Melissa.
Melissa.
My husband and I first met when he was good friends with my roommate, and he started coming over to our apartment a lot, like 3-4 times a week. And I thought it's because he had a crush on my roommate, even though she's like, no, we're just friends. So to like help him make a move, whenever they would come over, I would just leave, either like go to my room or go to a friend's house, whatever. So he could sway her, I guess. But they would always invite me to hang out with them.
So
Melissa thought this boy
her
was coming
roommate-
over for her roommate, so she would just
she would
leave or go hide,
so he could put
so
the
they
moves.
could have alone time.
He could put the moves on her roommate.
Yeah,
It's a good roommate.
it's a good roommate.
Melissa, you were a good roommate, even though
That's
apparently
not apparently what he wanted.
he had eyes for you. Let's hear the
Let's
rest.
listen.
And one night, it was right before Christmas break. I'm a teacher, and so I was trying to finish report cards and get all my stuff ready so I could go home for the holidays. And he came over, and they were making cookies, and they kept on bothering me, like, come out and like do this with us, eat cookies with us, whatever. And I was like, no, I'm busy. I got to finish these report
They
cards.
work together. Remember?
And then
So her roommate, Melissa, your roommate must have known that he liked.
she said they were working together to try to get her, but she kept pulling herself away because Melissa thought he wanted her roommate.
Wow.
So now the boy and her roommate are now making cookies and like, come out here. They're trying to work together to like get her to hang out and connect with her.
And the next morning, when I get up, I'm getting ready for school, and I walk past the manger scene we had in the entryway, and baby Jesus is gone. And in its place was a chocolate chip cookie. And I was like, what the heck? So I picked up the cookie, and underneath it was a little note from him that said, Melissa, if you want your baby Jesus back, you'll have to call me, and had his phone number. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was livid. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, why is your hookup like trying to get me to call him? Like, that's messed up.
That's
and
hilarious.
so I told her, you can't hang out. Like, you shouldn't hang out with him anymore. About a year later, I was at a party, and he comes up to me, and like we're talking a little bit, and I had no idea who he was, but he offered to buy me sushi, like go on a sushi date. And I was like, heck yeah, I really like sushi. And so
and it's expensive.
I agreed just pretty much because it was a sushi date. And when we were on our date, he confessed that he remembered me, for friends with my roommate, and he knew that I couldn't turn down sushi. And then that's when I figured out he was a Jesus stealer. But by that time, he had already won me over, and we've been married 10 years.
That's
So,
hilarious. He stole
Maybe
her
not
baby
necessarily a Jesus freak. He was a Jesus thief.
That's so weird. Like thinking of the time that went through all that. Like she like forgets about that. But
Like,
this
why didn't your
he
roommate just say
like he's got eyes for you?
Yeah.
Because maybe what if she really liked him too, and she just didn't voice it?
Yeah. So like, was he sneaking
Or
around?
what if she was the menage a trois? Or
What was he sneaking? That's why he hid the note. Like, I wonder if like her roommate
didn't
knew.
know. She didn't know he stole baby Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like Melissa's roommate had something for the guy that was the friend, but because Melissa voiced it to her roommate, no, Melissa didn't know. I'm getting confused, but I'm kind of playing a story in my own head. However, what I was going to say is Melissa forgot about this baby Jesus Stiller, okay? And then a year later, they go out on a sushi date and she remembers him. And he, this whole time, still was thinking of her probably.
He got Jesus.
That's a very sweet story for him. For her,
so Jesus was gone the whole time?
Oh my gosh, did she never get baby Jesus back? So every year she had to put out a cookie.
Not cookies for Santa, it was cookies for Jesus.
Oh gosh.
All
Good
right.
story, Melissa. I'm glad you found out your Jesus cookie stiller.
All right. This is Aaron Williamson.
Hi, my name is Erin, and I am a longtime follower of your family since the beginning, really. We've actually met a couple of times. My daughter and I have come to a couple of the events for Grace and B. You'd probably recognize her because she only uses one arm and has a bunch of medical complications. You guys have really been glue that has held her and I together.
Wow.
She's not always super easy to deal with as a teenager who has special needs. But one thing that we always have in common is watching y'all's show and now listening to the podcast. And something on Danielle's episode the other day really resonated with me when you guys were talking about Blake and how she sometimes gets lost in the shuffle. And it just really made me want to reach out to you guys to say, I totally understand. We have a son who is 3 years younger than Kinley, and he is also overlooked often by doctors, by our friends. Even on my social media and stuff, her picture will get 100 likes and his will get, 20. And I'm constantly, redirecting people's attention back to him. So I think you guys are doing awesome. Blake is just so pretty, and I can't believe how old she's looking lately, but love your family. So glad that you guys have found a new way for us to stay connected to you guys and learn even more. We'll continue to support Grace and B because we love the clothes and just the ability to see you guys every now and then. So really grateful for all your family does.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you. And I know who she is.
But for those of you that may just be listening to our podcast and don't really know like all the backstory, so Grace and B, we have a clothing boutique. It's online, graceandb.com, GraceonBee. And also we have a storefront here in League City. And so she's been to the storefront a few times. That's super cool.
She's come to a lot of the social things before.
So she supports us on very many different ways.
Yeah, I love that, Aaron. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And just some encouragement for your son. Even if we as parents feel this about our kids, they might not receive it that way as far as feeling left out or whatnot. But above all, you just always make sure that your son and you still get some quality one-on-one time together where you make sure to voice those things and be vocal about how much you do love him and doing things just with him and stuff. And that's something that we as parents of 6 have to remember to divide. And like all of our kids have different ways that they receive love and or give, showing affection and love. And so trying to navigate that is definitely challenging, especially if you have something that's overshadows one more than the other. And so you're doing a great job, Aaron, and I appreciate you sharing your story and keep on momming.
Yep. That was awesome.
And I know who you are. We've taken a picture together. Your daughter was really nervous to take a picture with us.
All right.
You want to do one more?
We got 3 more.
Do we have time for 3 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is Gail Gonzalez.
Gail?
I went on a job interview, and the gentleman that was interviewing me was so handsome, and I kept looking to see if he was married. I checked his fingers. I checked to see if there was any pictures, and there wasn't. I got the job, and I got the boss. I married him 6 months later. It definitely was a true love story, and I have 2 beautiful daughters from that.
She took that job whether she wanted it or not, because she just wanted the boss.
That was like a hostile company takeover.
6 months. And that was a love at first meeting, love at first interview, I guess.
Wow.
Gail be spicy. I like it, Gail. Thank you for calling in.
Got the boss. All right. This is one more. This is from, actually, we have two more. This is Nicole Grant.
So me and my husband met in a bar one night. We both went to the same bar every weekend. And this one particular night, he noticed me because I had a bandage on my wrist. And the reason why I had a bandage on my wrist was because I sprained my wrist rug surfing at
rug surfing?
a party.
Pause.
What is rug surfing?
What the heck is rug surfing?
I need to look that
I
up.
feel like I need to look that up. Rug surfing. Never heard of it. What does it say?
How do I stop my rug from...
How do I stop my rug from moving?
Is it like
a
is that
skim
like
board?
slang like in the UK or something? I don't see anything. What the heck is rug surfing? It's not like
we're just getting
like
rugs
something-
that look like surfboards.
It's not like something sexual, is it?
No. Oh Lord. So I'm envisioning it's kind of like throwing a skim board on the carpet and sliding on it. But you have to have a really big room for that. No, that's not the same thing. That is not what she said. She said rug surfing.
No, it can't be that.
Yeah, I don't know why you're going to go to Urban Dictionary and try to look up things because it's not going to give you what she said. And if it is, she might need to call in again. Okay, so back to Gail's,
Rug surfing.
Back to rug surfing.
I used to have, when I lived with my girlfriends, we always used to host parties. Rug surfing is basically where you pretend you're surfing on a rug and then somebody pulls the rug out from underneath you and you have to stay stood up. Gotcha. I did not, and I fell over and fractured my wrist. Oh. So said night, it was a Friday night, I had my bandage on my wrist and my husband came up to me and started chatting me up, asking me what I'd done to my wrist. And the rest is history. We've been together 13 years and married for 5. That story always gets a laugh over in the UK, so hopefully you guys find it a bit funny.
Never heard of rug surfing. And we jumped the gun on the pause button.
Let's not say we. I'm going to say you did.
I did. Sorry, I was a little premature on that pause.
But could you imagine us just playing rug surfing? That is such a random thing.
Like whenever you're like a magician
pull the tablecloth under the cups and make sure the cups don't fall.
Thought to do that with a human. It sounds dangerous.
Usually rugs on the bottom are like rubbery so they don't move. How would you?
How would anyone stay up?
Well, do
you pull the rug out from under them or you just yank the rug and see if they can just like slide on it?
I don't know. We might have to experiment. But all we do know is that she fell and hurt her wrist and then found the love of her life at the bar. Do you think that she told him?
A little rug surfing never hurt anybody, I guess.
Never hurt anybody, especially not Nicole.
She hurt her wrist.
But she
found her true love.
But her hurt no more because she found love.
At the pub.
On a conversation of rug surfing.
All right, this is the last one. This is Casey Kaufman.
All right, Casey, bring it hard. Let's go. What you got?
Hi, my name is Casey, and my husband Ben and I met whenever we were in high school, and we met when we were freshmen in high school. But we dated, I think maybe sophomore year for like 2 weeks, and I was like, no, he's too nice. I don't want to be with him, and so I broke that off. The years kind of went by. We stayed friends, not super close or anything, but we were knew each other and would chat every once in a while. And I ended up getting pregnant right out of high school. And my son's dad and I didn't get married or anything, but around 7 months, my son was around 7 months old, we split up. And I remember just thinking, about Ben and how nice he was. And I was like, I just need to be with someone that's kind and nice and will take care of me and, and all the things. And so my best friend at the time was my friend that I had known since I was in 5th grade, and he was a gay guy. And so I was like, Marshall, you've got to reach out to Ben and see if he's dating anyone. And because I obviously did not want to reach out to him myself. And so Marshall did. And, obviously here we are, we're married and happy. But come to find out, my husband, Ben, at the time thought that Marshall was hitting on him. So he almost didn't respond. So I'm thankful that he did. But funny. Yeah, that's our story in a nutshell.
So he completely got weirded out because he thought he was getting hit on because he was straight, but her gay friend was playing matchmaker.
Yep, and he matched it. But I like how she said he was too nice, so I broke up with him. And then like time passes, and she's like, "I need to be with someone who's nice to me." Usually that helps.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Casey, for sharing your story, and glad y'all found love.
The nice one always comes out in the end, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, this was awfully a lot of fun for me to just like, and for us to like experiment with this, like calling in and us being able to have like some type of like bonding interaction with you guys.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely going to keep doing more of this with just different topics and stuff. And so thank you all of y'all who called in. Make sure when you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, I want to know which story touched you the most. Like which one did you connect with? Which one made you cry? Which one made you go,
do you have a similar story to one of these?
Or do you relate to one of the stories? So be sure to let us know that as well. Yeah. And what you got else to say?
I mean, that's one of those aspects of like our story, because like we're being real and open and just kind of sharing the intimate, the funny, like all the different aspects of our story. And, you know, we've heard from everyone out there, like how different aspects of our story have spoken to you.
There's so many saying, I'm the same. I feel like you're talking about me.
Yeah, so relatable. And even though like, I mean, we have this like crazy story that we think is just so miraculous, and like having, you know, getting pregnant with quintuplets and stuff, even though like how we met has nothing to do with quintuplets, but
it's the start of it.
Yeah. But it like speaks to so many people. And that's just like a testament to like why we deeply believe that like your story matters.
Yeah.
Even though like you may think that, you know, your experiences in life are just insignificant, but to put yourself out there and to share your story, to share your joys, your pains, your struggles with other people, you never know like how, and we say the Holy Spirit, you never know like how like God is going to use you to speak to someone else, or use your story to minister to somebody, or to encourage someone, or to get someone through a difficult time in their life.
Right. And your pains and your hurts and your gifts and your strengths are not for you.
Yeah.
They are to serve and other people around. And maybe it's far away listening, or it's someone that's in your close proximity. But walking life solo is not what we were created for. So join us in community as we try to get to know us more. We also want to get to hear and know you listeners more. So being able to do that is a little bit challenging. And so we're trying to like cross that barrier of, you know, doing these call-ins and whatnot. And maybe one day we can even do it like live, you know, because that would be like so fun. Like I said, I feel like Delilah right now, like
we'll figure out a way to do that.
So I would think that would be so fun to do that, and just really engage with that kind of thing.
We'll have to bring more people on staff.
Yeah.
We'll need to vet some of these calls first.
Yeah, that for sure. But anyways, thanks guys for listening to More Than Reality podcast with Adam and Danielle.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of this community, and so glad that we could bring you guys into it and kind of peel back those layers and get you guys involved. So thank you guys for loving us and this community and our story, and giving us an avenue to be able to share yours.
Yes. Thank you guys. Love you.
All right. Bye.